And we're back. Okay. This is not for advanced users, needless to say. Just whenever I figure out something on my own path, I make it a point to put it up there because who knows, it might benefit someone else at some point. This is a very basic thing. It's very common to experience latency when working with VST instruments, and of course drum instruments are no exception. Sometimes it's worse than at others. I'm not sure why. Today with this project that I just started in the wee hours of this morning, I don't know. I just seem to be having real issues with latency on this drum kit VST. It's native to Cakewalk SI drum kit, and it's like I can't even. I'd like to just practice the parts that I have in mind, and it's just a real irritant to have that latency of however many milliseconds. It's very, very difficult to lock in and get into a groove. So here's what it sounds like. I'm just going to unmute SI drum kit, and so you can probably hear through the microphone when my foot hits the kick drum pedal, and then there's that little delay, and here's the hi-hat pedal. So I'm guessing you can hear these hits on the electronic drum kit. Point the microphone a little bit more directly at the kit. So probably you can hear the physical hits on the kit itself. With that delay, it's just really bad today, and I don't know why it should be worse on one day than on any other, or worse with one project than with any other, but maybe that's something I'll figure out further down the line. But anyway, that's just kind of out of the question right now. So I've got the VST itself muted, but let me see. I just got to test something here real quick. Oh, that's why. Hang on. Oops. All right. What's going on here? It's tracking all right, so here's the trick. Okay, there's my I don't know why it wasn't, the green bars weren't bouncing before, but anyway. Is that because of, alright. It's the, this yellow button, the input echo button, has to be on to see the green bars. But anyway, okay, so now you don't hear anything when I'm hitting these. Just hearing the sticks on the kit itself. Now, here's the workaround. So I've got my VST instrument, my kit right here, SI drum kit. Well, it's track 5, and track 4. I have so this is an instrument track, and here's the SI drum kit VST instrument. Normally, you would load that, and when it's unmuted, you play it, and you hear more latency, less latency. If you're lucky, it's so small as to be basically imperceptible, but that's not the case today. So what I've gone ahead and done is I've loaded this icon right here, this little piano icon. That's an instrument track, and the one here with the waveforms, that's an audio track. This is a pure MIDI track, just a MIDI track. And I loaded a MIDI track, and then I pointed the output to SI drum kit in track 5. All right. So basically, this is just going to record the pure MIDI, just the piano roll, as it's called. And then when I want to listen back to it, I'll just unmute the SI drum kit. Right. So I mean, advantages. Zero latency, because you're not hearing the drum hits. So that's a pro. A con, of course, is that you can't hear the drum hits. Although I find that that's not as much of a con as you might think. I mean, obviously, if you're working with a keyboard controller where you're playing chords and melodies and all that, that's a much bigger con. With the drum kit, I mean, how many elements do I have here? I've got my kick, my hi-hat, my snare, crash, ride, and 3 toms. So it's not like playing a keyboard, like piano or synth or something like that. It's not as big of a deal that I can't hear the instrument itself. I have well, for one thing, I can just memorize the patterns. I know what grooves, what fills, what patterns I want to play. And in my mind, I basically know how it sounds, right? So, and I don't know. I find that I mean, I'm no drummer. I'm still learning, training, trying to pick up some basic skills, and it's kind of a well, it's something to do, right? Something to improve at. And I got this drum kit, so I'm on about it. But it's really not that bad. I mean, I've been sort of compulsively drumming on different surfaces my whole life, with my fingers, with my hands. I've always just, that's one way that I fidget. It's just drumming, fingers, fingertips, hands, even like sticks that might be lying around. I've always enjoyed that sort of thing. I just never had a drum kit to learn how to play. So in a way, it's just a lot like that. It's a lot like idly, drumming on a table in front of you, or whatever. So it's really not that. In a way, I think it might be easier to not to hear the actual samples, not to hear the hits. But all right, so but I do have another way where if I really want to hear the hits without latency, in theory at least, I've got another way around this. But all right, so I'm just gonna like track a few bars this way with the drum kit on mute, and this is how it goes. And I've been practicing for, I don't know, about hour and 20 minutes, hour and a half now, and I'm kind of like, I reach a point of diminishing returns with drum practice, especially where I'll find that the more I practice, just the clumsier I get, and I'll just pick like a pattern that I've been working on, and let's say I'll go until I can get that pattern more or less perfect for like 4 bars in a row, and then I'll stop, and I'll come back a few hours later, maybe the next day, and I'll often find that right when I start, just fresh, that last pattern that I practiced will just come back effortlessly, and I'll it'll just be like really easy for a while, and I'll be doing stuff that was difficult earlier will be like pretty easy and straightforward when I'm fresh. And then I don't know what it is. It's like the more I think about it, the more my mind gets in the way, and I don't know. So I'm kind of like reaching that point now where I kind of need to stop and go do something else for a while. But anyway, I'll just lay down a few bars and I'll play it back and see how it goes. I got that down real good earlier, and now it's just like my brain is getting in the way. It's really, really irritating, but that's where I just have to take a break and come back in a little while, and it'll be, oh, that's how it, right? But anyway, so now I unmute the drum kit VST. So now here's the MIDI track that I just recorded, the piano roll, and now that is routed into track 5, the drum kit, and I can hear back what I've just recorded, right? So. So that works pretty well, actually. Assuming I can keep in time. And again, this is like really pretty comfortable and natural, drumming away without hearing a kit, because that's what I'm used to my whole life, basically. Now, here's the workaround. I've got this thing called OBS, and it's software that I'm using to do this streamcast, this live stream on YouTube. If you don't know what it is, you can go look it up, OBS, and download it and install it and figure it out. Figure out how it works. Even if you don't want to do podcasting, even if you don't want to do YouTube live streams, if you are a home recording enthusiast, there are other things you can do with it in your home studio. For one thing, it's great for recording song ideas, just little song demos. You come up with a song, let's say with your acoustic guitar, you know, with a guitar part, a melody, maybe some words, and if you're like me, you come up with ideas and that's a good idea, and you think, well, surely I'll remember that, but then I don't know, you go and do something else, and you try to come back to it an hour or two later, and it's gone. Sometimes never to return. So what do? I sit down and I just record it. Now, obviously, you could do that with your cell phone camera, which is fine. But if you got OBS installed, you can use your webcam on your computer. You can connect your smartphone or cell phone cam. You can pipe that into OBS through another app called Camo. You can have multiple cameras in there. Which your camera of choice and microphone of choice, of course, and if you set the audio bit rate at maximum, you just get a really nice, you get a video demo. I think it's better than doing it with the smartphone. But also, for example, sometimes I get latency issues in Cakewalk with like tracking vocals, or other instruments for that matter. And one trick that I found is to have OBS running in the background at the same time as Cakewalk during your tracking session. So you've got, let's say I'm tracking vocals, and I'm using that microphone that I'm talking into right here, that you might be able to see in the screen. I don't know, right here, and so when let's say you've got that microphone as your input in Cakewalk, and if you click on the input echo for to monitor as you track with that microphone, you hear a latency, you hear a delay, and so in a way it's kind of like this. Well, you turn off that input echo and you track the vocal part without any live feedback in your headphones, without any monitoring, which kind of sucks when you're singing. I like to have input monitoring when I'm doing vocals. Well, when Cakewalk is giving you latency with that, you can have the same microphone running into OBS, and OBS has zero latency in that situation, so you can track your vocals, real-time monitoring, no latency, but at the same time you're still tracking to Cakewalk. You might, after you record, you might have to do a nudge. You go into process and nudge. You got the clip selected that you just recorded. Now you might have to nudge it left or right just a few milliseconds to get it in time with the project, but it works. It works really well. So in this case, same principle. I've got the drum kit plugged into my audio interface, which is M-Audio Black Box, old audio interface. Okay, and that is the audio interface is routed into OBS. So, although I don't have it set for input in Cakewalk, although I could set it. I could set the input. In fact, I think actually the input is set for that. It is set for that interface right now, and I could add. I could add another audio track, and I could track an audio take from the drum kit through the interface with the drum kit sound that's in this drum kit brain right here. But right now I'm just using it. I just thought, well, maybe I could use it to monitor my performance the same way I would when vocal tracking, and I would call the results inconclusive right now. But here's what it sounds like. So I've got a volume control on the output of this drum kit. So I'm hitting the kick, and you can hear it come up. And there's a tiny bit of latency. I'm not, just enough to perhaps be annoying, and I'm not sure why. I don't have this problem. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's the audio interface is kind of old. It's not like, maybe it's not the same as just a plug and play USB mic. Maybe that audio interface is introducing just a little bit of latencyy that I wouldn't notice it so much tracking electric guitar, for example, which is what I normally use that audio interface for, to track guitars and the like. It feels like it's just enough to be a little bit annoying. So but you know what? If it doesn't work out, that's fine. I'm pretty confident that I can track, with no monitoring feedback of the actual drum sounds. I'm pretty sure I can get used to that real fast. But anyway, this is what it sounds like with just using the drum kit through the audio interface into OBS, which is running. You can't see it right now, but it's running in the background. It's running this stream, and so I'm just gonna do another take here, the same bars, and just see if I'm feeling disoriented, thrown off by it. The first time felt pretty good until I messed up, but I think it tracked fine. Okay, but I'm gonna give this a try anyway. it's not insurmountable. I mean, it's cool to be able to hear. It's cool to be able to hear what you're doing. Not essential with drums. There's a tiny little bit of a trade-off, I would say. Maybe you just take some getting used to. I want to actually play this back and compare it to the first clip that I tracked, and I don't know, see if see how the timing stacks up. So I gotta need to unmute the SI drum kit. Okay. Sloppiness toward the end is just owing to me being too fancy for my pants. Yeah, I would say there's a little bit of an impact on. It feels a little bit, yeah. I think I can really hear the latency on this ride. It's just like, they say that 10 milliseconds is kind of short enough that your brain doesn't really pick up on it. That might be like, I don't know, 12 or 13 or 15 milliseconds, you know? Just over the edge. I'm going to try it one more time. Actually, whoops. Okay, I'm going to try it one more time. Keep it simple. Let's just see if I can stay on the groove. Latency increase, or maybe I just need to take a break. All right. Seemed okay. This one just seems like the latency got worse. Can I keep time just with the two pedals? I take that, I just. Oh, I know what. That was another mistake. I always see. I'm such a dumbass. I didn't mute my SI drum kit. Okay. I knew there was something amiss, and you probably saw it. Alright. Oh, I'm such a dum-dum. Alright. So that's what tracking is like with the drum VST. It's got all kinds of latency. It's just terrible. It's terrible. Let's try it again. I think this is my brain malfunctioning. I think it's, I'm going to come back to it fresh and try this LBS monitoring approach again when I'm fresh. And see how it goes. But at the very least, this is one way that I think you can get a decent drum take while surmounting the VST instrument monitoring issue. In Cakewalk, just use a pure MIDI track and pretend that you're drumming on a table. That's basically it. Okay, that's it from lovely scenic Paji City, South Korea, and I'll see you next time. Over and out.